Morning, folks. Right, I hope you like this setup. I've moved the webcam back onto one side, all to the angle of my box easel. And I've got another easel here, the old Frank Herring easel, with cadmium red, ultramarine, big burnt sienna. Should put some more out. Big burnt sienna, some Payne's grey, just a daub of Payne's grey. The Payne's grey that I've got here is Dale Rowney. These are all the student qualities, but it's so saturated with oil, you can see it's still running down out of the paint. The yellow ochre Dale Rowney is okay, but this, I don't know why this one should be the same. But it's only Payne's grey I could get at the time on from eBay. Okay, so cadmium yellow pale, yellow ochre, double white. We've done sort of country scenes so far. Let's just do a bit of a rough sea. Quite like rough seas. So we just want some rocks. Too much of this. Oh God, I've done the same both sides, haven't I? Oh, well, anyway, that'd be different. And put something. Of course, there, horizon. Let's have a horizon. Oh, a bit more horizontal than that. Oh, that's better. Rocky shore, rocky coast, rocky Cornwall. Okay, so let's attack it. Oh, this is good. I cleaned this brush up yesterday. It was a little bit still stiff from oil, and I hadn't. Oh, look, I've still got some. I won't use this one yet. Still got some soap coming out. Remember, when you clean I clean my brushes in dishwasher, washing up liquid, which is brilliant for cleaning brushes. But these all brushes have got a gap between the wedge of the bristles and the wooden handle, and that can fill with water if you're not wary. And then when you tilt your brush, the water runs down through the bristles. So I'll go back to that one. I'll use this large 1 inch Dale Rowney brush, very good brush. Chinese brush. Cheapo 15 for £8 in Hobbycraft. Brilliant brushes. They're rough, they're cheap, they lose their hairs, they break, but they do lovely things with texture. Because after all, we are creating an illusion of detail with our painting, unless we're painting photographically or abstract. I've done quite a few abstracts in the past. I like abstract. The only criteria, I was in the local Wetherspoon with friends yesterday because we were talking about this, that and the other, and the subject of modern art came up, and one of my friends said, God, we couldn't get a house room. And the thing about abstract is you either like it or you don't. That's the criteria. And my favourite artists obviously would be Jackson Pollock, who started all the modern expressionism off. And I love Sean Scully. I love Sir Howard Hodgkin, who died 3 or 4 years ago. Books on these people. But I also love impressionist painters like Seago and Ted Wesson. Ted Wesson didn't demonstrate on YouTube. He died several years ago. I remember him very well. He used to demonstrate to the art group I belonged to at the time, and he was a favourite. I belonged to the art group for about 25 years, but I didn't sort of get involved with the going out and passing the time or doing a set subject on a Thursday evening. I didn't go much on that. And eventually I dropped out and I just do my own thing now. Although I do from time to time demonstrate for them. But there are some really good painters there. But it's all in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? Now, what sort of sky should we have? Well, I like stormy skies. So I'm only going to use these colours, a bit of oil. So I'm going to have a bit of that. Just whack it on. I haven't got any dryer in this particular widget with linseed oil. Hope you're enjoying the Olympics. I'm not watching it in Dutch at the moment. I'm on the channel that's got all the free sport. That's kind of everything. I primed it. It's a bit of 5mm MDF board. It's an offcut. It's 16 by 15 and 16 by 11.5. So I haven't any ready-made frames that this will fit. So I'm just doing these and having a bit of fun with them. Let's get some dark in there. It's got a bit wild. If you like oil painting, I would highly recommend the 200mm tubes of student quality if you don't want to lash out for the very expensive, much more expensive artist quality. Let's clean the brush. So I just clean the brush in a piece of toweling. Get most of it out. And then carry on with another same brush or another brush. I'll get another bit of cloth, bit of toweling. Toweling is very good for cleaning the brushes. Putting for cloth like I put an appeal out for toweling when I get a bit low. But all sorts of cloth comes in, like tea towels. Well, unless they've got that sort of tooth on them, like a toweling, they're useless. You need something that would take the paint out of the bristles, and I do this because I do have COPD, and so petrochemical products like paraffin, kerosene, white spirit, thinners are not very good for people with chest problems. But linseed oil with a bit of dryer. The dryer is I would think, petro-based, but I don't use a lot of it. It hasn't got a toxic. So I did buy some lemon zest. Is it lemon zest? Citrus flavour, but that was petrochemical, and it had a dire warning. Deadly if swallowed. Well, that didn't last very long, did it? I think I used it as a bit of fuel on my charcoal to get the charcoal going in there. So I just use a bit of linseed oil mixed in with a bit of dryer, and I'll add a bit of dryer now. And that's the best way to buy it. 250ml pot, plastic pot of it. Just pour a few drops in with the linseed, and it all helps to dry. Okay, so let's get back with our cloud. I'll probably have to put out a bit of just build it up gradually. Don't worry about finishing anything in one go out of prima. Well, the whole painting is going to be finished in one session, so it's out of prima to that extent. But Other frame is sort of painter's jargon for painting in one go. I always, these days, all my paintings are for YouTube or Patreon, and I look a bit better, really. And then it's done, out of the way. I don't really want to do paintings in 2 or 3 videos, or if I do, it's because I've mucked up on my recording, like the pause in record, and forgot to unpause it. Then I might have to do something to get the painting shown. Just make it's easier than editing, in other words. I don't like editing, so it takes time, and I might blend some of that. Let's have some grey. Bit of oil. Gonna have I think a light horizon, light cloud. We'll put some under that. Yeah, let's get that to burnt sienna. The burnt sienna goes very well with the white to make a lovely warm cloud. So let's just try to get a bit of movement here in the sky. Alright, let's go. See if I can bring those into that there. I don't usually paint so far away from the board, but with this setup, it makes it quite easy. It's nice to just waft your brush around. Nice bit of colour in there. Well, that burnt sienna is a beautiful colour. Sometimes the camera just picks up the red. It does on my phone. I don't know if I mentioned the primer. I primed this one with a couple of coats of acrylic. I think I started off with the burnt sienna and then went over it with a burnt umber. Let's get some more. Does that look convincing? It's only an impression of the sky. It's not a constable masterpiece. Right, let's get that nice light on that horizon. There's some lovely documentaries on artists on YouTube, mostly dead artists, who's into add, like Vincent and Gauguin. Alright, let's get a bit of cloud in there. Not dark enough. I spent a bit too much time with the sky, probably because it's quite a big one. Oh, that's got quite a bit of variety in it. All right, let's sort this. Let's come down a bit lower. Okay. Just some lighter clouds coming up. Right, okay, let's get a nice dark horizon now to that. So let's have a bit of blue and yeah, that'll do. If you don't like it, you can paint over it. I think I prefer blue and Payne's grey. Add a bit of that's better. Try to blend your horizon into the sky, or your sea into the sky. Otherwise, it just doesn't look right. It might be right if you put a bit of masking tape across, and then paint up to it, and then pull the masking tape off, and you've got a dead straight, unblended horizon. It might be right on your eye, but it's not right. It just doesn't look right. Just light, hard against soft. So just gently stroke it. There we go. Now the fun begins. I'll get a smaller brush. My collection over here. Oops. Behind me I've got a table with all my, like a movable table with all my watercolour brushes and stuff on. There's another Daily Roundy brush, is really good. Okay, so let's put in some lighter colours over that. I'm making this up as I go along. I'm not trying for any realism. I can put some darker stuff in there. A bit more grey. That blue, Payne's grey and blue our bedfellows. They're really, really good. Let's just move that out of the way. So they're sort of clashing it. You get these lovely long streaks of light against dark in your sea. Or Payne's grey. We can put some lighter bits in there, just catching the light. Okay, now I've been having a go at trying to learn to paint rocks and sea, and it's so tempting to put loads of white in. Oh, I've done it many times, but there's not that much white at all, apart from a bit of spray and churn, but mostly it seems to be dark in my sort of observation. So let's do that. Let's just paint in between these rocks. Pull that hair out. Oh no, I don't want blue, I want grey. I'll paint the rocks sort of an ochre colour. Let's just get that in there. Ooh, tips into the ochre. Well, it's okay because we could put the colour you get underneath, which will be ochre. Right, okay, let's go into some of these rocks now. So this one's near, we'll put a bit of green in there. Now we want light against dark there, so let's get a light colour. Try a bigger brush here. Catching the light. Bit of grey. Some lovely programs on one of our channels on Devon and Cornwall. Love that Cornwall. Been there many times with our trailer, folding camper. Had some great times around Watergate Bay, Newquay. Oh, there's a bit of dark in there now. Just try to create an impression, really, not very successfully at the moment, I do declare. I think this yellow doesn't last overnight, it tends to dry out a little bit. Let's just get some greens in there. Of course, you can always use a painting knife. Let's have a go with the painting. Let's find the one I like. There we go. I had this years and years and years. Get a much more realistic look with a knife because it shows all the jagged bits. Let's get some paper because we'll cut the load later. Get some rolls of paper. A cheap shop. And don't mix your paints too much when you're using a knife. Gives you an idea of strata. Bit of burnt sienna. Right, we'll let that go for now. Oh, just go on here. Well, I'll go back to that. That's you want a good colour for that. So let's have a burnt sienna and ochre. Bit of dark in there. You need plenty of paper. I have one rough rock, put a bit of yellow on the top of that. I'll do something on the other one. Then we get into the sea. Let's see what a mess we can make of that. Sorry if I'm, yeah, just see my head. Welcome to any new viewers. Knife painting is my favourite way of painting. I've often said that. Use a lot of paint there. Okay, let's get some lively wavy things. Clean the brush. Get most of that dark out of them. Let's see what we can make of that. I will have the sky white. Now here we can use a bit of counter change. I've got to put a bit of dark against that. And a bit of that grey colour here. Nothing wrong in using a bit of reference material. One of my favourite artists is Jackie Gardiner. She's not on YouTube, but she has a Google gallery. Scottish artist, really good, verges on abstract impressionism, I would say. A lot of her work, but I do love the freedom that she paints with. I've got some lighter blue greys. A bit coming around the corner there. Is that coming on? I don't want to do too much of this. It's so tempting to get carried away with putting loads of frothy waves in. A little goes a long way, I think. So I was looking at the sailing in the Olympics, especially when it was fairly calm. There wasn't a lot of wind, and the sea basically was two colours plus some highlights. There was just blue and a lighter blue, blue grey and lighter blue grey, and then just a few bits of highlight. So I'll do a bit of highlight. Oh no, highlight, not dark. Just a sort of a hint of stuff. Oh, I'm so inclined to let that go, you know. A bit of a wet rock. Bit of light grey ochre. Oh, what does that look like? Nothing on earth. Now, light against dark, the contrast missing. Let's get some darker shadow in here. It's obvious that that's the rocky shore. Your brain will interpret that. If you put everything in, there's nothing for the viewer to connect with. Right, I think we'll let that go. I'm quite happy with that. Sorry about my head. I think we're going downhill. We could say that's the curvature of the Earth, couldn't we? I'm not going to do any more than that. So I hope you like it. We can just put a bit of a swirl going in here. So here we go. This is where we start. Let's go a bit of a lighter bluey grey. Bit of grey. Okay, well, this is an impression. That's, I don't even think I've got a mount that would just highlight that. What's that? Yeah, we'll just try that. How can I do that? What I'll do, I'll lay it flat or flattish, and I'll alter the camera angle. So let's just take that out. Get rid of that knife. I'm sure this is going to work. Because I've got to zoom out on that. I'll move that in a minute. I'll just get that mount on it. Right, let's how can I move? Looks like we go that way, doesn't it? Oops, put my fingers in. I have even a bigger mount than that, or bigger aperture. Try that. Well, right, okay, can you see that? It's a bit squiff. But I'll move that camera and zoom out, I think. Bear with me. Well, there it is in the mount. If you want to see a better view of that, you have to look on my Facebook page, which is Dave Usher. Dave Usher artist, something like that. That's just, I'll put my finger in that there. Okay, folks, well, enjoy the rest of your day. I've had enough, and I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye for now.